Okay. All right, so first thing that you're going to do when trying to build out a mass email template is to make sure you go into settings if you're the account owner and go to email columns, calendar and other. You're going to scroll down and make sure that you have your SMTP connected. It's basically just allowing you to send email using your own email. So if you've got Gmail or Office 365, we've made it very easy. You just hit connect and then you attach the right email account for you. If it's another provider, then you'll just enter in your host information. We have a help article on this that gives you some basic information on your setup if you've got like some of the more general or commonly used email providers. So go to the help center and just type in email. But in general, you're going to hit connect Gmail and then it's going to set that up. So if I hit this, for example, it's going to bring me into something where it's going to show me I want to connect this. I will edit that out. There we go. And I'm going to continue. So now that allows me to send using that. If I am not the account owner and I want to set up my own as an agent, I go to account, my information, and then email, and I set it up here. Because I'm the account owner on this, I am not going to set it up in both places, only in that primary area. So the default email account is always in that settings, email columns, calendar, and other, rather than the agent specific one, which is in account, my information. You always want a default email address to be set up. So that way, if you have unassigned records or an agent leaves and you haven't assigned a new person to them, or if you don't want your agents to set up their own email SMTP, there's a way for you to send email through that main default email address. Once you've set that up, you can then go to your templates and let's edit a template. So I have, I think, a 4th of July one in here. So I love using this filter to just find templates fast. Edit. So Happy 4th is my template name, nothing too exciting. But here in my email subject line, I might personalize it a little bit from all of us at Freedom Insurance. Right? Something like that. I recommend putting in the agent name and agent email snippets. When you see these little hashtags, what that's showing you is that it is pulling from a field name within the CRM. So it's saying, hey, computer, go into account my information and pull the agent's name from the agent field name. So whomever this is going out to, the assigned agent's name would display. And then we go down here from agent email. I would not BCC yourself on a mass email. That would be awful. If you wanted to make the template available to all users to send directly through the their lead or client profile, you could make that template available there. But since this is just like a one-time a year type thing, I don't think we need it. So here we've got this picture of a flag, but if you wanted to change this, all you have to do is hit change image. Once you're in there, click into my files. You can now either upload over here or search for free photos. So if I wanted to upload my own image, I could click there and search. But if I wanted to search for free images, I now have a free image that I can insert. If I wanted to change any of the text, I would just click in there and say Happy 4th of July instead of Happy Independence Day. If I wanted to change any of the text, I would just click in there and say Happy 4th of July instead of Happy Independence Day. If I wanted to change any of the text, I would just click in there and say Happy 4th of July instead of Happy Independence Day. You can then say dear first name. So again, this is what's called a snippet or a merge tag, but really all that is pulling from that field name. So when you send this out to George Smith, it'll say, Dear George. And then you can type whatever you want. I hope that this is a special time of remembrance, celebration, and family. I don't know, something like that. Then we can scroll down, and if we wanted to add in any more information, we could. So we can grab in another content item. We can add in whatever we want. We can edit these little, here. Then we can also add in other content. Like if we wanted to say, click here for a special thing, you could drag in a button and say whatever you want to, special song for it's a terrible idea, but there you have it. And then you could just link to either the YouTube link or link to a PDF or any kind of file. So you just hit link file and upload that file. You can also add different icons, different spaces. You can add stickers or GIFs. So if you want to have a barbecue one in here, the most complicated part of using the template editor is you have to drag it where it says drag it here. You can't just be like, I want it over here. And the reason for that is because this is trying to format it so that way it's the most accessible on smartphones, on iPads, on Android devices, on a desktop, on a laptop. So it's trying to format it for you in a very specific way. So now I'm going to search for GIFs with Giphy. And maybe I want barbecue. And I don't know, we're going to go with this. So you can do a lot here. Now, I will say when you're sending a mass email, it is very helpful for you to have something fun or something meaningful in there. But if you have too many images and too many links to click on, that can reduce your score as far as being accepted or not via their spam filters. So my advice is keep it as simple as you are able to while still making it relevant. I think the relevance is the more important part of sending really good marketing messages. So if there's anything where it's like, click here to join us at our annual barbecue, that's wonderful, right? You could have that as your link, and then it's a worthwhile link. But if you're just linking nonsense like here's a special song, nobody's really going to click on that, and it's not as useful. So RSVP to our annual cookout, right? And then you've got an RSVP link here. That's a lovely way to do it. Now, what I'm really excited about is we now have this thing called saved rows. So if you wanted to, let's say, save this row, I could click on the whole row and then see this little, I think it's a floppy disk icon. If I click on that, I can save that whole row as agent signature and photo and put it into my saved rows. So that way now I can go into rows, my saved rows, and pull over my CMS disclaimer. Maybe I needed a CMS disclaimer in this one, or I want a my schedule appointment now link with my social icons. I can just drag that over as the whole row. So this is a really wonderful new feature within the email template builder to make your life easier. So again, you would just click on the whole row as opposed to a content. You can't just save a content item. You would have to click on the row itself and then hit save and then fill out the information, and then it's in your rows. Again, this is a formatting thing and not just a content item. That's why it's done in rows. Now you'll notice that I've got a background color here. That's done in settings over here on the right. So I can make this a larger email. So usually you have it smaller so you can edit more easily, because now if I click here, it's harder to get that row size. I would have to actually scroll over, blah, blah, blah. So if I go here and I make it smaller, now I can edit those rows, right? But when you send the email, you probably want to expand the content with, maybe you want to have it center aligned. The background color, if you think that that's too bright, you can move it down like this, or you can type in your own hex code here if you know what a hex code is. If you have customized font colors, this is a way for you to, or customized logo colors. This is how you can edit that background color. So if I knew the hex code that I wanted, I could add it in there. Content area. So this is the content background elements. And if you wanted to add in a background image, you could. You would just choose that image. That would probably look terrible. It doesn't look too bad. So I can kind of see it back there in the background now, as opposed to it just being in the foreground. So there's a lot of things that you can do in settings, but the most important one is to know if I need to edit it, I make it smaller so that I can tweak it a little bit better. And then when I'm ready to send, I make it bigger again. And I save that template when I'm done. So now what we want to do is we want to test the template first. We don't send it to just any leader client. What we are going to do is we're going to type the word fourth again, and we're going to hit send sample from here. And then you're going to send it to yourself and make sure that you like how it looks. Check it out, make sure it looks good, make sure the links function. And then once you're satisfied, you can schedule that mass email. You'll do so in email. So we're going to select the record type. So I want clients and maybe leads and any other ones that you have created. If you have our AMS plan, you might have custom record types. You can add in as many as you want. I would say not tagged with deceased is always a good idea. So if you're tracking people who have passed away, I always recommend adding a tag of deceased so you can exclude them from marketing campaigns. Then if I scroll down here, it'll tell me how many leads and clients would get this. This is a low number, so I'm really okay in sending a mass email to that amount of people. However, you should check with your email provider to see what their limit is on how many you can send out per message, because a lot of times it's only 100 people per message. Even if you've got 500 or 2,000 allowed messages per day, the per message, so for a single email, you can only send out 100 at a time. This is important to know. So we have, for when we send out mass emails, we have a service that we use called SendGrid, SendGrid.com. And that allows us to use our domain while still sending it through their server. So our server SMTP is set up differently from just like a Connect Gmail or a Connect Office 365. We're typing in the SendGrid credentials. So that way we can send out several thousand emails at the same time. So that's something to consider as you're sending out mass emails. How many does your specific email provider allow you to send per message? So now I'm going to schedule it. So I obviously want this to go out on the 4th, maybe 10 in the morning. And I'll select this template of 4th of July. And I'll schedule it. And now I can delete it because it's a scheduled one. If I had just hit deliver immediately, I can't retract it. I can't do anything. But here, because I have it just scheduled, I can delete it. And I can always check my criteria. This is a big deal. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I didn't mean to send that out to all my leads. I just wanted to go out to my clients. Great. Check your criteria, make sure you did it right. And then if you didn't, delete it and rebuild. Any questions on this?
Yes. To make sure it goes to, I know you said for the name, you put in the hashtag and what was that? You type the person's name after the hashtag or
No, no, you're gonna choose the field name. So the way
okay,
that
the
you
field
do
name.
that, yeah, so you're choosing the field name and then it's going to, here, let me make this smaller so it's easier to edit. Okay. So I'm clicking into this. Let me make this a little bit bigger on your screen so it's easier to see. Zoom in. Okay. So do you see where it says dear first name?
Yes.
Well, I could say, let's say, I hope this is a special time of remembrance, celebration, and good times with the whole, and then I would put in merge tag, last name, family. So if it was for me, it would say the whole Bond family because that's their last name.
Okay.
So this is a
Okay.
way for you to use those merge tags. Now, eventually, I hope that this is searchable because it's just kind of crazy. Like you have to sort through like name, first name, last name, and it says record. Record is either the lead or the client, or if you're on our AMS plan, any additional record types you have, or agents, like
Mhm.
agent recruitment stuff. But then if you scroll down a little further, you get their product details. So if it's a product specific mass email, you can send it with product details. And then if you wanted to add in the agent details, see where you've got assigned agent full name, first name, last name, email, etc. So you can put in quite a lot of detail into these emails
Oh,
um, with all of the custom fields as well. Obviously, anything that is encrypted, like Medicare ID or Social Security, whatever that is, those are encrypted fields and cannot be used in email templates. You're not allowed to email or report upon those encrypted fields. So those are restricted and you will not be able to find them.
okay. And that was merge tags.
Correct. Do you see here?
Okay.
This is called a WYSIWYG. It means what you see is what you get. So if you
Okay.
check out our other email creation articles, you'll hear when we say WYSIWYG, that's what I mean here. So in the WYSIWYG, you get to choose if it's a bold item, if it's italic, underline, strike through. If you want to change the font color, you can click on this palette and make it red instead of something else. Um,
Mhm.
and then this is a background color. So if I wanted to background all of this color here or make it black against white font, if you wanted to do superscript or subscript, you could do that for other languages. So if I needed to do something there, this is special characters for other languages or currencies. Um, this is a non-break space. This is if I wanted to clear the formatting, and this is if I wanted to link something. So if I wanted to link, for example, let me go down here to the agent details. See how I've got these linked down here? Even though they're the field names, the system will find that link. If you click on link, I'm saying the link type is telephone. The number is the agent's telephone number, and it will launch a phone call for you. Or if I wanted it to be an SMS, I would switch it to SMS. And then the number is still, the agent's phone or their cell phone, depending on what it is. And then it can send text directly from clicking on that link. Or it could be a URL or an email, whatever you want it. So these are really helpful ways to link to actionable things within your system.
Okay. And it will personalize um each email with that client's name on it.
Correct, because it's going to
Okay.
find, remember when we were in the mass email section and we're saying, hey, I want this to go to leads and clients.
Yes.
And then it's going to try to find all the people who match whatever criteria we put in. So do not tagged with deceased. And
Mhm.
then I'm going to scroll down and then it will tell me the calculation. So each of those people, so there might be one lead that's called Barbara. There's another one that's called Jose. There's another one
Mm.
who's called Danielle. So each of that, it's going to say, Dear Danielle, dear Barbara. So it's going to add in all of the specifics from their record file if it's the record first name, or
Mhm.
if it's the assigned agent's first name, it would say, thanks so much. And if it said hashtag agent first name, hashtag, it would say Shamika, for example.
Okay.
So that's how that personalization works within this.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So just to recap, you want to go in and set up your SMTP in email, columns, calendar, and other for the default SMTP down here. Any agent specific email SMTPs are done in account my information email. If you are the account owner and have set up your email in the settings level, you will not do it here. We used to tell people to do it here. That is no longer the case. Please don't set it up for yourself if you've set it up for the SMTP in the settings section. But if you are an assigned agent for that does not have it already set up in the settings, you'll go here to account my information email and submit the settings here. And then always scroll down to submit settings or save. Next, you will edit the templates or add a new template. And lastly, you will go to email, choose your record types that you want to send to, what criteria you want to send against, schedule it or send immediately, and choose the template. And just remember, look at your total for how many records it's going to go out to, and make sure that your email provider allows for you to send that many in one message. The same message for over 100 people might not be allowed by your SMTP. So you might want to check out an email service. The only one I can think of right now is SendGrid, that allows you to send using your own domain, but on their server. I'm sure there's others, but I just cannot think of any off the top of my head right now. So that's that.
Okay. Thank you. I'll go in and play around with it, and
Yeah,
so that I can become familiar.
absolutely. Any questions? I would just recommend putting them into the help app. That's the fastest way to reach us because I'm in meetings all day long. So hopefully other people will be faster than I am. But regardless, we have these featured features. We also have the client work sessions that you can join where I hand hold you through the work. So again, you would share your screen and I would say, great, go to settings. Okay,
Mm.
go to email. Let's get this connected. So it's more, that's like more of that work session. So I'll remember, Shamika, what's your last name?
Respress, RESPRESS.
Okay, I will send you the client work session invite again.
Okay.
And we will go from there. Are you using, I see
Oh,
you and I don't see you as a client yet. I just see you as a trial person, but that is probably inaccurate. They probably just didn't capture that information. I'll find your proper user information and get to you. Okay.
it may be, I don't know if it's the insurance company's name, Faith Insurance.
Yeah, you've got two. You've got Faith Insurance LLC and Faith Insurance Services, but I'll figure it out and send it to you. I don't think
Okay.
you ever got like the client work session information, so I'll make sure I get that to you today.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Shamika. Great to speak with you.
Nice speaking with you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.